Do you want the word? Pass it on. Do you want the word? Pass it on.
I imagine it educated more. I don't know how I feel about it. But that's all right. When G said there were people who inspired, like I inspired him, Miss Carletta's a woman that inspired me. When I arrived on the scene, I was maybe 19 years old, and I'm now years old. And there were certain people. Miss Carletta was there, Sonny Patterson, Asali Devine, Sadiq Khalid, Peter Muhammad. These names may not ring a bell, or they may ring a bell, but these people inspired me. And okay, anyway, I said that. They fed us lies about our history. Said that we were bastards, subhuman, ass backwards, that we lacked the capacity to achieve, forced us to believe that we were not a part of history, gave us books filled with myth and mystery. His story, not history. They used those lies to justify the genocide they committed. Then they lied twice and say they did it. I mean, they said they didn't do it, but truth conquers lies, so here's some pros to prove it. Before 55,000 years ago, every human on the planet was African, even those in Europe. See, the original man was African, Ethiopian to be exact. You know, he was probably a hunter-gatherer and all that. Wait a minute, let's backtrack. How do we know he was black? Because the climate in that region, real high sun beaming, requires skin to produce melanin, which provides protection and pigmentation. Now let's get back. So we started a nation, a civilization, you know, but limited resources mean somebody got to go. So the African began to migrate, setting up civilizations and states. Nubia and Egypt, then the Africans spread eastward to the southern tip of Asia. And what I'm going to say next is about to Asia. Presently there are 100 million Africans in Asia. Then the African crossed the Strait of Gibraltar into modern-day Spain. The adaptation began to take place due to climate change. By the time the African reached Russia, he was met with the Ice Age. His nose began to elongate, his skin lost shades. In order to survive, his genetics began to mutate and create a pale face since the birth of a new race. Now let's get back to our birthplace. Ethiopia, at that time, was considered the home of God according to Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. You know, Akhenaten. He was the husband of Nefertiti, the father of Tut. He believed that Ethiopia was the genesis of all and spoke of it as such. Well, what's up with Europe? At that time, not much. They were still pre-literate and stuff, but they were trying to come up. They had spoken word. Okay, they had like Homer with the Iliad and the Odyssey. At that time, Egypt was on its 24th dynasty. According to Dr. John Henry Clark, at that point, Africans have ruled the world for 10,000 years, you know, from the start. Created mathematics by aligning the stars on the charts. We built the pyramid and the Sphinx with African features distinct, wide nose, big lips, and what's crazy about this, they'd rather believe that aliens did this from outer space than to believe that Africans could create it. Now that's just hate. But back then, they did appreciate, they appreciated our science, our philosophy, our ability to build an empire state. In fact, they appreciated it so much, they began to replicate. There's no denying the influence of Africans on ancient Greece. Just look at the oldest European civilization on earth. Crete. Where that's at? Greece. We taught them everything from arithmetic to politics, you know. Help them get on their feet. We set up universities for them and started to teach. See, we already knew the science. To them it was all Greek. With the rise of the Abrahamic religions, Africans became the first Jews, Muslims, and Christians. You need proof? See, Abraham was Mesopotamian turned Canaanite. Genesis 10:28, a direct descendant of Sheba. Sheba, which is present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. Through his son Ishmael, we get Islam and Ishmaelites. Through his son Isaac, we get Judaism and Israelites. The bloodline of Christ. By the way, none of these people are white. They are either black or blacker. These are the facts that factor into our being. We came into being long before the European was off all fours, explored American shores. Read They Came Before Columbus, and how Native Americans spoke to the black people among us. I mean, amongst them. We are the sons of God. I mean, his next of kin. We must explore our history and know what it means to be an African. Researching history. Here's what you should do. Learn about Ghana, Mali, Nassa, Musa, Timbuktu, Imhotep, Isis, and Osiris. We wrote the first surgical textbooks known today as the Edward Smith Papyrus, written in the 19th century BC. We are the original originators. Now that's our history.